Today, I will show you how to borrow and lend bNeo on the decentralized application Demex. Demex is a decentralized application built on the Carbon network, which is a layer 2 protocol specifically designed for trading, including advanced trading like margins, perpetual contracts, and futures. Demex itself is a cross-chain order book DEX, which also includes a money market, and it was the first order book DEX on the Cosmos blockchain. It currently supports many blockchains including Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Neo, and many more. But for the focus of this video, we are going to be focusing on the blockchain Neo, as well as the recently launched product from Demex called Nitron. Nitron is a permissionless money market for assets across various blockchains, including our focus Neo. And the Carbon protocol we mentioned is built upon Cosmos. If you are unaware of what the money market is and what Nitron is useful for, Nitron is similar to Aave, which is a very popular lending protocol on Ethereum. What Nitron allows you to do is users can borrow or lend assets and earn APYs. And that includes now when you can borrow or lend bNeo on the Neo3 chain. And one great thing about Demex is you can use a variety of tokens to pay for your network fee for using the platform, including ETH, USDC, BNB, and Carbon's own native Switch token, which was based off of the old name of the Switcheo exchange token, but has now been morphed into the Demex platform as they switched their course. So yes, Demex was created by Switcheo Labs, the former Neo DEX, and now they have finally stepped their foot back into the Neo ecosystem. And the great thing about Demex is you don't have to wait for a market pair to be added. It's completely permissionless, so as long as the chain's supported, which in this case Neo3 is supported, you don't have to wait for a team to create it. You can just go create it yourself. And of course, the reason why the Demex Nitron team chose bNeo as the first Neo asset to be added is because it's a divisible version of Neo. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what bNeo is, I did a nice quick summary video. I'll put it in the card up there. Should pop up. Feel free to watch it, get a quick understanding of what exactly bNeo is. And quick summary is it's divisible Neo. So that's what they use on this platform. So to get started with bNeo, Demex, and Nitron, you're going to want to navigate to app.dem.exchange/Nitron. Once you get to this page, you're going to be on the landing page of the Moneymaker tool. As you can see, there is a lend section, a borrow section, which also includes a mint section where you can mint USC token. We have bNeo on the Neo3 blockchain. You can see the currently lent amount of $244,000, as well as the APY if you were to lend. You get 1.23% APY base, and also there is currently an annualized reward of 11.43% added on top of that. That is thanks to the Neo partnership with Demex to give a little incentivized bonus of using bNeo on their platform. On the other side, you currently get 2.86% to borrow bNeo and a bonus of 24%. So let's get into it. On the top right, you are going to be able to connect your wallet. There are a variety of wallets you can connect to, including Ledger, Kepler, MetaMask, and Encrypted Key. Kepler is a Cosmos-based wallet, where Ledger is a very good multi-asset wallet. Let's start with Ledger, as that is one of my favorites, and I have one right here to use. So we're going to go ahead and connect with Ledger. The important thing is you're going to have the Cosmos app on your Ledger device. Everything that happens in the Demex application here is happening on the Cosmos chain. So even though it's interoperable between many chains, every time you want to use, in this case, Neo, you have to take your Neo and bridge it over to the Cosmos chain. So you need to have the Cosmos app on your device. So let me log in. So I have now unlocked my Ledger device and I have navigated to the Cosmos app. So I'm gonna go ahead and click connect. And there you go, my Ledger on the Cosmos chain has now connected to the Carbon network. So you may ask, how do I get my bNeo on this platform so I can borrow and lend? Well, you're going to have to navigate to the top right, go to your balance, and we're gonna search for Neo. As you can see, we have bNeo here. We are gonna go ahead and deposit some Neo. Again, this is not like an decentralized exchange. It uses similar terms. This is all decentralized and on smart contracts, so it is completely permissionless. We will go ahead and click deposit. So we will select NEP17, which is what bNeo is. It is a NEP17 token on our ledger. As you can see, you can also use O3, but I'm most comfortable with Ledger, and that's what I'm gonna use for this one. So I'm gonna select Ledger and the Neo3 network, and it says to not refresh the page, follow the instructions, which we will do. So I have already connected and unlocked my Ledger. We are on the Cosmos app. I'm gonna hit continue. Now the next step is we're gonna open our Neo3 app on the Ledger. So now I'm gonna go to my Ledger device, exit the Cosmos app, switch over to my Neo3 app, and hit continue now that it's open. As you can see here, it says deposit bNeo. So there it has my Neo3 address and my current balance of Neo, or bNeo in particular. Again, if you're wondering how to get bNeo or you're confused about bNeo, go check out my very quick video explaining bNeo as fast as I possibly can. It's very easy to turn your Neo into bNeo, so you can use it on a lot of these decentralized protocols. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click max. We got 5 bNeo here, and it says we will get that 5 bNeo after fees. So I'm gonna go ahead and click deposit. Now, if you are having issues getting that signed transaction to show up on your Ledger, just make sure you have smart contracts enabled in the Ledger app on your Ledger. So I go ahead and see my review transaction. It's gonna cost me 0.13 gas to complete this transaction. Oh, 0.14 including network fees. And I am gonna go ahead and approve this one. And you can see in progress, I am currently depositing 5 bNeo onto the platform. So this is basically bridging it from Neo blockchain to the Cosmos blockchain so I can use it within this decentralized application here. So we will just wait for that to happen. But of course it says to quit the Neo3 app, which I will go ahead and do, and then go back to the Cosmos app on your Ledger, which I'm gonna do right now. And I have done that, so I'm gonna go ahead and click that the Cosmos app is in fact open, and it says we're all set. You can now leave this page. So I'm gonna go back to my wallet balance. So as you can see, there is no balance for bNeo. Well, as I said that, it just popped up. Okay, cool. So I was just gonna show you this. It was a little too quick for me, but if you go over to cross-chain transfers here, you can see how I deposited from my Neo address right here and went from Neo to the Carbon chain on Cosmos. So we are here with our Carbon, and it is currently in transit. So it's not fully deposited yet, but it is showing in my balance. That is how you get bNeo on to Demex on the Carbon network. And now you can see it's officially successful as the status on the cross-chain transfers. So we're ready to borrow and lend. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna click back to Nitron there. As you can see here, it says what I have available in my wallet. So let's go ahead and lend out some bNeo. I'm gonna go ahead and click lend. You can also choose to use this as collateral. What does that mean? That basically means if I want to borrow an asset from the platform, I can use the bNeo that I'm lending out right now on the platform as collateral for me to borrow other things in the future. So let's go ahead and deposit 3 of my 5 bNeo. So I have selected that I'm going to use it as collateral, the current APY that I'm going to get for depositing it, and the collateral tokens. As well as you'll see my health factor, which is basically your assets to your debts. Of course, we're going to need a network fee. So As I mentioned, there is a lot of tokens that you can use for network fees. It automatically defaults to Switch token on the Carbon chain, but you can use any of those available ones as you can. If you want to use the Switch token, they have a little, if you go to the fee settings here in the top right, you can top up your Switch token. So it's just an automatic DEX right here. You can choose a token that you have value in. So for me, I had a little bit of spare BNB pocket change in my my Binance Smart Chain wallet. So all I did was you follow the exact same process as I showed for Neo, except I did it on the Binance Smart Chain using MetaMask, and then bridged over like basically like $1 worth of BNB. So as mentioned, right now, the only tokens that you can currently exchange for Switch to use as a network fee are the only ones that are currently listed in here. Right now, there is no Neo or bNeo used as network fees, so hopefully in the future we see that, so you don't have to like use another chain just to get network fees. Of course, you can also just get Switch.io from like a DEX somewhere else on Cosmos, but right now you have to use another chain to get the network fees to use the platform, which is a bit of a pain, but hopefully in the future, if they add Neo, that you can just directly use your Neo tokens as network fee. So Demex, if you're listening, get that Neo on there so we can use it as network fees. But for now, I bridged over my Binance token. So if you want, you can swap like your BNB or whatever other chain token and use Switch as the network fee. But for now, I'm not going to swap. There is like a minimum swap, and I'm like not even close to the minimum swap. So I'm just going to use BNB as my default network fee. So I'm going to drag that to #1 priority. I'm actually going to cancel all other tokens. So I want it to use BNB. So BNB is going to be what I use for my fees. So let's go back and hit lend on the bNeo. So I'm going to go ahead and use my bNeo. And it's going to cost me as a network fee. Again, you can use anyone that they're supported, hopefully Neo in the future. But for now, I'm just going to use some BNB because I had some spare change. And we are going to go ahead and click lend. So just a reminder, I'm on the Cosmos app right now because the whole DEX runs on Cosmos. So I'm going to sign this transaction. I went ahead and hit approve. And we are currently lending 3 bNeo successfully on the Carbon network on Nitron. So it says I've lent 3 bNeo, my network fee of 0.0001 bNeo. Not bNeo, sorry, too many B's. BNB. So that was what I used as my network fee. Obviously super cheap. I transferred over like 0.005, so like I can do a lot of transactions with just like $1 of BNB in this case. So we're gonna go ahead and just click close. And as you can see, I am now lending 3 bNeo, using it also as collateral of $18 collateral. And you can see my net worth, my current net APY, my health factor, and any additional awards that I can claim. That's that bonus stuff attached to the 1.23%. So now that I have $18 in collateral, what else can I do? I can lend, or we just lent. I can borrow bNeo. So we're gonna go ahead and go to borrow. So now I can borrow up to 1.5. What does that mean? Based on my current health factor and collateral, I can borrow up to 1.5 Neo. We're not going to do that because if your health factor falls to 1 or lower, you get liquidated. We're not here to get liquidated, so I'm just going to do like a 0.25 bNeo. So there you go. This drops my health factor to 6.6, which is extremely safe. So I'm going to borrow 0.25 Neo, and it's going to use that network fee again. We're going to go ahead and click borrow. I'm going to sign the transaction on my ledger. I have now approved it, and it will very quickly give me the success. And that's the beauty of Cosmos. Just like Neo, the Carbon network has very quick transactions with very low fees. That's why we love it. All right, now we're going to go ahead and click close. As you can see, I now have a borrowed value of $1.53. And the interest here is what I have to pay to borrow this bNeo. So that's 2.86 annualized on my 0.25 bNeo. So, and of course the borrow power I've used. So there I have shown you lending and borrowing on Demex. Now, one other thing I haven't shown that you can do additionally with your bNeo is you can mint USC. What is USC? Simple enough. Stablecoin based on the Carbon network. 1 USC is $1. Why don't we go ahead and mint one? So I can mint up to 7.66 USC. Now, the amount of USC I can mint is based off of my collateral that I've lended out. So I lended out 3 bNeo. I use some of that collateral to lend or borrow some bNeo, but I can also use that collateral to mint a USC coin. So it says I can mint up to 7.6. Again, if I go 7, my health factor goes crazy. So just to show you how it works, let's go ahead, mint 1 USC token. So again, we're gonna mint 1 USC token using our collateral. Our health factor is gonna go from 6.6 to basically 4. Gonna go ahead and mint it. Again, sign it on your Ledger or whatever wallet you're using. Again, I'm just using Ledger in this example, but you can use any wallet. I have now approved it, and we will see the transaction successfully approved. And we have now minted 1 USC. And now if I go over to the You've Minted tab, you can see I have now minted 1 USC. So there you have it. That's the Demex platform and the Nitron application and how you can use your bNeo and potentially in the future other Neo assets to borrow and lend various currencies. Now, I showed specifically borrowing and lending bNeo, but you can go ahead and borrow some ETH if you want to. You can borrow some wrapped Bitcoin like USDC. You can borrow anything. But since I was just focused on Neo and Neo 3 in this video, I just showed how you can borrow and lend with bNeo. But yes, you can use your bNeo as collateral to mint the USC coin, which is a 1-to-1 representation of the US dollar. Or you can just earn APY if you want to just lend out your bNeo. If it's sitting around doing nothing, you can earn APY on here. It's just cool to see other use cases for Neo and bNeo coming out in these various dexes. So what were your thoughts? What do you think of the platform? And if you have any questions, make sure to leave it in the comments below, and I'll try to help out as much as I can. But hopefully this was descriptive enough for you to understand how this works and how to get your bNeo on to the Carbon network to lend, borrow, and mint with. And of course, when you're done and you want to get your Neo back onto the Neo 3 blockchain, all you got to do is go back to your balance, go to your bNeo, hit withdraw, and then follow through basically the same steps we went through. And then you can withdraw your Neo. And you can even withdraw any Neo that you borrow from the platform. If you want to go deeper into this and look at the documentation that walks through all these steps and various things that I haven't even talked about on this platform, then I will leave a link in the description to go to guide.dem.exchange, and you can read as much as you want. They have a little section about depositing Neo tokens, which is basically what I went over here, and step by step, lots of documentation on how to use the platform and all that. But this video, I want to just go over quick as possible how to get your bNeo on the platform and how to borrow, lend, and mint. I hope you all enjoyed. I appreciate if you leave a like on the video if this helped you, and be sure to share this with anyone that wants to understand this platform and another use case for their bNeo on the Neo 3 blockchain. But that's going to be it for this one. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.